Hey guys, got a little old Pittsburgh Infer temperature control unit. Yeah, it's got a little laser on it. That laser, hit that vise with it. What's it read? That vise is running Fahrenheit 90.6. .6 88.7. All right, now what do we got in here? Little old cheap cooler, enema bag. What's that enema bag running? .96, 96.7. Hottest tap water I could get in it. It's dropped a little bit. I dropped this thing in there about a half hour ago. Not quite 90. I want these queen cells around 90. So I've only got probably back and forth maybe an hour, hour and a half total on my trip. Okay, running 98. So let's go ahead. I got some pine shavings here. I got this mark in here. It's 4 inches off the top of that bag. There we go. There's the extra hose. Up your nose with a rubber hose. We're gonna put the lid on it. We get our queen cells from my queen breeder and make a little hole and stick that right in there. All right. We'll come back in a little bit and see what that temperature is. .85 degrees. .89 degrees. About 89 degrees. That's going to be a good temperature. I dug down a little bit. Maybe I should slack up on my dig way down here to the bottle. Yeah, right down on top of that bottle is 90. After about an hour. Yeah. So if I put about say 2 inches, good 2 inches over that bottle, 2 inches over that bottle, I'm going to be safe. Yeah. So that experiment, I think, will work out fine. Trying to get things going here. Sorry about that. Trying to get things going here because I got to go to the breeder and pick up. I'm going to pick up 10 cells on Friday, this coming Friday. So he said there's 3 strains in there. He's got Carnolian, Italian, and something else in there. He said they're real good bees. The guy's been at it a good while. Anyway, I'm out here fooling around with the frames here, grafting frames, playing around with it. JZBZ cups, 2. These things I've used in the past, they work great. This plastic bar takes 15. And what I'll do probably is I buy the smoke ones. You get different colors, but the smoke is good because you can see your larva down in there. And you can just mark it so you know. I put a couple thumbtacks. I numbered the cell bar. This one happens to be cell bar 2. But you got it like this, and on these you've got a cup in here. It's offset. This is looking down, the cups are down, right? So they just go in and they set on the peg like so. So you could do 30, you know, or put another bar in down here and do 3, but I like just do 30 of them. And if you get, you know, 80% of them, that's going to be good. I've hit as high as 90% on these grafting. Once you get good at grafting, your percentage will go up. The trick is when you put that larva in, you cannot flip it over when you dig it out of the cell and you slide it in here. This is going to be up like this on your fixture out there. And when you put that tongue down in there and hit that plunger button, that thing has got to slide right off in the bottom of that cup. You cannot flip it over. If you flip it over, dig it out, and I just put it in my mouth and take the larva off. Yeah, I eat the larva. And your saliva lubricates your tool for the next one. So you come down in there and pull it out, put it in there. But you can't roll them over. You roll them over, they'll drown because they got a breathing hole on the top side. So once you load up your 15, as you load them up, you're going to cover them over with a towel. I'll show you how to do that. But once you get the bar done, you carefully roll it over. This is just prior to sticking it back in your cell starter. Have all these on a board with a towel, warm towel over them. And when you get out to the field, you open up your colony, and the last thing you do is take it one at a time, set it in here carefully. Set this one in here carefully, and down they go. You got to, when you rotate these, don't rotate them fast. You'll flip the larva out of them. Just set them in gently. Slide that in. And then you come back in 24 hours, you pull this out, and you put it in your finisher colony. And the finisher colony is a queen-right colony. It's a queen-right colony. She'll be in the bottom, and you'll have an excluder, and you're going to put this upstairs, because if you put this below, she's going to come in here, the existing queen, and wipe out all these. You can't have but one queen in a hive. But with that excluder, you're eliminating her from getting up there and destroying the stuff. On day 9, these come out. Now you got two options. When they come out, you're going to pop these. Say you got a peanut on here. Say this has got a peanut on here. You take these off of here real carefully, and you lay them down. You brush the bees off. You don't smoke. You don't beat these around. They're extremely delicate, and you carefully pry that off. And you put it inside of a cell protector. The cell protector's got two little pegs on it here. So now your ripe queen cell goes down in here. It's got a hole straight through. It goes down in here. It's going to be about this long too, by the way. It's going to be about that long. So you carefully put it in here without bumping the sides. And then you can put this right in a hive. If you make up your nooks the day before, you want to pull these out on the 10th day. On the 9th day, you want to make up all your nucleus colonies, the queenless nucleus colonies these are going into. Then the next day, they're going to sit for 24 hours with no queen. They're going to realize they're in trouble, they got to have a queen. Then you come in the next day, open this thing up, and get your cells, ripe cell, you stick it in. And in a few days, this one will hatch out, and then she'll be messing around in there for about 5 days or so. She'll go on her mating flight, come back, and she's going to mess around for another 5 days or so, get strong, start laying her eggs. And then you're going to come back 2 weeks later and check those hives, see if you got a laying queen. So that's that. But here I'm playing around in here. I bought some tubing. Went to the hardware store and bought a couple feet of this tubing. This tubing is 1/2 inch ID, 5/8 OD. And I cut a 1 1/16 piece. Now here's your JZBZ queen cage here. Alright, these are popular. The old style was wood. And here we can put the candy in. You take powdered sugar and clear corn syrup, and you mix it to a really thick paste, and you push that in, about that much slug of that material in there. After your queens, you put your queen in there. This little hatch door on the side here flips open, and then this rocks back like so. You can put your queen down in here, rotate this down, have your candy in there, and then you can pop this little swing arm comes in, and that helps hold the lid down. But what I'm trying to do, say if you want to hold your queens for a little bit, your virgin queens. I cut that 1 1/8 inch piece and put a little 1/4 inch hose clamp on it. And by just sliding that clamp on there, it gave me plenty of friction there to slide that on to that. On that nipple, on that cage right here. That's nice and snug. It's not going anywhere. Then you can take this cage, after you install your queen in it, your queen cell in it, and push it down to where it'll just fall inside of that pipe on the inside. So you don't need a clamp here, because it's going to just sit in there. And of course, your queen cell on this JZBC cup, it's going to be sealing off the top of it, like so. So here's my thought. If I want to put a bunch of ripe cells in an incubator, all it is going to be a chicken incubator. I've got to rig up something. My idea is to run a magnetic bar across here inside of that incubator, down away from the element, and run that temperature, I think around 90 degrees in there. It's going to be fine. And it'll just click on to that magnetic bar. Now, is the magnetism on that bar and this hook to it going to bother this queen? I don't know. I don't have any idea, but that was my thought. on that, and I wanted to suspend it about center of that incubator, the whole thing. I've got about that much room inside that little chicken incubator. All it is, you know, an $80 Tractor Supply incubator. I've hatched 1 million ducks and chickens out of that thing over the years. Very dependable, and so I will set it. I'll set it about 90, 91, and hatch these out. Then she'll come in here. Once she hatches, then you can come in and put 1 drop of honey in here, and then get these things into a queen bank for a few days until you decide what you want to do with them. So you could let them hatch out in this thing. And I'm thinking that magnetic bar along here clicked in. Say this is the magnetic bar running all the way across, and I'll hit a happy center in that incubator, and they're going to come over and go click, and they'll be sitting in there side by side all across here. Maybe I'll have a magnetic bar, you know, one of them toolbars, and maybe I'll have 2 of these so you can run a bunch of them. I'm going to say 20 or so queens I can get into. I could at least get 10 of these cages down one side and then another 10 over there. Or I could come up with some sort of a socket on the floor, or I could set these into a socket, but I don't want to cover up any air holes. You'll see with that 1.1/8" tubing, I've got some air holes at the top there so that cell can breathe a little bit. It can breathe here. I had the tube up higher, I had it way up here, and I said, no, I don't like that because this cell is not getting adequate, you know, air to it. So that's just my thought. I don't know if this is going to work. I like experimenting with stuff, so we'll see how it goes. So that's it for now. Keep at it. Get going. On Thursday morning, we'll get out in the field and slam together some nukes. They're going to be 5 framers. They're going to be in deep. But I'm going to be utilizing probably some mediums. And my plan is to only put in 2 frames in there. Probably a food frame, and I'm going to try to get something with solid brood on it, with some bees on both, and drop in there. That way we got resources coming up, and new bees will be coming out of those, hatching out of that brood. That is going to help her. She's not going to need a whole lot of bees in there because the main job's already done. We've already, you know, and because I'm not, we're just letting her hatch. When you need lots of bees, when you're making a nuke and doing a walk-away split, you need a lot of bees, a lot of resources in that box to make a good queen. But in this case, the queen's already made by a professional breeder. And this will help me pump up my stock quick. It's going to change my genetics, get new genetics going around here. Once these things get going good, and I like these bees, I will order some of those green frames. They're drone frames, and every hive I got that's a good hive now, I'm going to be dropping those green frames in there, 1 of them per hive, and let her fill them up with drones. That way we'll get a good saturation of the drones of those good hives. You can have a great queen, but if you got a lousy drone, not so much. So you got to have good drones too. So what we'll do is saturate the area with good drones, and then get those drone combs in there. They're the green ones. You'll see them out online. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. These cells I'm buying are $4 a piece. He's selling queens for 30. It's still a roll of the dice. Even if you buy a $30 queen, you could lose that queen. They could ball her, they could do this and that. But with a cell, you're only putting $4 into the thing, and you got an 80% success rate of her going out, mating, coming back, start laying eggs for you. So I rather spend the $4 and you know, roll the dice on that more than I would the $30. So that's what I'm doing. We'll get out there Thursday, make some nooks, and get that happening. As soon as we get that going, we're going to build these things up. We'll keep pumping the food to them, build them up. I don't know if I'm going to sell bees this year or not. My mission is to build up some resources and build up some good breeding stock by fall. We should be there by fall. We should have plenty of bees to work with for the following 2020 season. So that's the game plan. All right, be happy. Catch you on the next one. See ya.